Hey everyone, and welcome back. It's Amari, your Perpetual Tech Noob, learning more with you. Today we're going in again on another Noob's build, where I'm gonna work on my little baby here, my little baby. This will be part 2 of the Letter to Success refactor, right? And this time I figure I should go in and do some of the pointers that Mr. Marcelo graciously gave me. So let's try to go in, right? Oh, before we even start, there was some changes made in the background. If you're looking at this app, the first thing you might notice is that the app doesn't have only the main anymore. I no longer have a main JS. I decided to throw all those things into the app file. There was no reason for me to have an app file that only had main in it, and then I had the main file that had all these things in it. So I figured I'd do that first, right? There was something else that I did also. If you're looking at settings, you can see that I actually changed the props and actually spelled them out. I destructured them. That's because I had all these props here in, well, it was in the main file, and then when I transferred it over, it was here in the app file. But I wanted to make this a little bit more succinct, this destructure. So I decided to move all those items that were being propped in to the settings page. The ones that I didn't need on the app page, I just decided to bring them in. Now, even this could be a little bit more succinct. I could have human players as I don't want to call it JSON, but let's say as an object, and have everything, not everything, not the errors, but I could have everything else. The player 1 name, if you have a player 2 and a player 3, their names could be into that object, could be parts of that object. And I could have had the computer player, other than the errors. I could have had the computer player difficulty and computer, no, it would just be the computer player difficulty and a computer player amount. That could have been a different object for the computer player stuff. Seeing that was the case, you may be wondering, well, you still have submit form here in as being propped in from the settings. And if we look at the submit settings form, right, submit settings form, you can see that I deal with the settings data, set settings data, and settings data also has to go into game page. So I decided, I'll leave that here on the app, which is now the main page, and I'll just prop in those items. So seeing that that's the case, I guess we could get started, right? After that explanation of what was done, behind your backs. Sorry. Now that I took off that main item, let me just commit that to GitHub. Okay, and like I said, with that done, let's get into the work. I also wanted to mention that this is going to be a pretty CSS heavy episode. So hopefully it won't take as long as the last episode, right? If you look here, you can see that I have Letter to Success open in a couple of different windows, all of them from localhost. But like I said, this is from my old iPhone 7, not only iPhone 7, but iPhone 7 SE. So this is like the real small version of the iPhone 7, totally outdated, and on top of that, even smaller than normal. But as you can see, there's certain things that I don't really like about these screens. So I'm hoping to be able to change those as well when it's all said and done. This one is kind of all right. But let's move forward. One of the changes I wanted to do to hopefully alleviate this problem where the footer, where matter of fact the whole page is not really set properly. You can see the footer's at the end of the page, but the game wheel is not set properly inside of the page. Like I mentioned earlier, this is going to be heavily set. This is going to be an episode that is heavily centered around CSS. So what can I do? Right? I want to fix that where the footer is coming into a bunch of different pages instead of having it on the main page alone. So which pages am I going to put it on? The game page could go without a footer, right? People will not need to really click on that button, which leads to my portfolio app. So the home page could definitely get it. The results page, I guess, could get it as well. And the settings page could get it. So let's take this. And like I said, we're going to do without it on the main page. So let's omit that for a moment. And because of that, let's not have any issues. Omit this for a second as well. And on the home page, I could bring that in. On the results page, I'll also bring that in. Okay, footer will be coming from outside. The results page, I can bring that in here as well. Oh, hey, why not? Even better. And the settings page, right? That's another change I wanted to do too. Okay, so how about I change that now? On the form page, right, the settings page, I have it just coming in as a form. So what I want to do is change that to a div, right? Change the page to a div. And I'll tell you why in a second. Let me just drop this here. All right, the fact is, that as I have it now, I have two class names for the form, form and settings page. I might as well make the div the settings page, right? The class name of settings page, and I'll have the form as a separate entity. And that's because, as Mr. Marcello stated, it would be nice to put a border box and box shadow on the settings area. And that would be hard to do if they're all the entire page, if the form is the entire page. So let's just make that a little separation here. You should see that later on. Now, it looks a little bit better, right? Somewhat. The button does not take up, the space for the footer is not fully encompassing the button. And not only that, there is a separation here of color. Let's see why. We could know what we're going to be changing later on. Okay, this is the home page div. And those wheel segments. Wow. I do not want that. Okay. It's not going to allow me to. Let's see if you could figure it out here. Okay, so we do have a separation. The HTML, which is the entire page, and up here we have the home page div. So that white is coming as the background for the HTML. Come on. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna leave it there for now. Let's take these off for now. But that was a problem that I encountered. I figured I'd just try to show exactly what the issue was. But anyway, we moved the footer to the individual pages, right? Let's go on to some other changes. Okay, the next change I wanted to make was on game page. And one thing I should point out also is that my game wouldn't play on the internet. It wouldn't get uploaded from Netlify because I had an error, a linting error with the fact that the setters for my 3 use states wasn't being used, and for some reason Netlify refused to actually let it go through. So I had to disable the no unused variables. That's what this is at the top. Regardless, if you have recently uploaded my files from GitHub, this will already be in there. But in the game page, for now, we could set up, what was it? Mr. Marcello asked, place a border and box shadow, make the font pop. Okay, I'll have to get the font for that. Change the font on the wheel cache amounts. Place a box around each character in guest letter section. So for that to happen, for that to work, guest letters, here we go. Okay, this is where we actually have the guest letters. I have them coming in as one entire, let's say string. So I'm going to have them, if I want them to be separated, I'm going to have to actually separate them here so that they could be controlled through the CSS. So what I'm going to have to do, I guess, is to map them out. And as I map them out, I'll make them individual P's for every string, P tags for every string, right? And in every one will be a particular letter. Oh, I'm gonna need a class name for that. So instead of letter, let's call it character, right? For every character. And I'll name this class name of guest chars, guest characters. Maybe everyone, it will be individual, so maybe they should just be guest char, as in guest character. So the guest characters, seeing that they're supposed to be singular, each one. Okay. I haven't accomplished any of this yet, so let's move that to the back burner for now. And with that, I should be finished with game page. With the changes on game page. Oh, this is another change that I made. As you was watching the last video, the wrong buzzer came in utterly loud. So I decreased this normal volume down to, 60%. You know what? As I'm thinking about that, the children on the settings page, right? They're pretty loud as well. So let's calm those kids down a little bit. Maybe 0.6 might be a little bit too low, so I'll make it 0.8, and we can leave that there. With that said, I might just be done with the changes for settings page as well. Let's fix that a little bit. So game page, right? Okay, I think I can leave that there. Now the results page. Also, there was a lot of changes behind the scenes. No, not here. That was done in the game page. If the computer won, it was a sad sound that was made. So let me go back to the game page for a second. To winner. Yes, here. Now, I set it up in winner so that if the last correct letter was guessed, and it turns out that that it wasn't the computer who won, you get the correct bell, you get the long applause, and you get the cheering crowd. But if the computer did win, you do get, of course, the computer will get the correct bell for guessing the last letter, but also a sad crowd because none of the human players won. I just wanted to point that out as well. That was done behind the scenes. So, like I said before, if you download my files from GitHub, that would already be in there. Okay, I think I'm done with the results page as well. And I should be done with the home page, right? Okay, here on the headers page, there were some things done that I didn't really appreciate. What I wanted to do was have this as one particular set of a nav, and this link would also be in a nav, but they kind of, I shouldn't say they, I overlooked it, and this ended up not going as I planned. As you can see, you have this nav inside of a nav instead. So this entire thing is considered one nav, where the button is, and then you have a full nav that encompasses everything. So that being the case, I did want to change that, but that would also lead to some CSS problems, because the way I have it set up is the nav that has a background of green. But what we're gonna do right now is change that before we start going into the CSS, and hopefully by the time I'm finished with all the CSS changes, it will look better. So this is supposed to be one particular nav, and this was supposed to be the start of a new nav. Let's fix how that looks, and once I save it, you can see how it's separated here, where that the speaker button has the background of the page. Well, okay, none of it looks right. But by the time I'm done with the CSS, we'll fix that as well. All right, so I'm done here with the header. And I'm done here with the app as well, the main page. So I could take this off. Okay, so let's move on to the CSS work, right? Because it's going to be a lot. The first thing I need to do is import a font, right? Because one of the things Mr. Marcello asked was to change the font, to make it pop, right? And we're also going to change the font of the whale cache amounts. And also in the CSS, we're going to place a box around each character in the guest letters section. So, a border and box shadow on the settings area as well. I want to hit those 4 items by the time we're finished, and also get this cleaned up. So what I should do, I'll set it up for some players. Your Perpetual Tech Noob, of course. Oh, that looks so bad. Gonna have 2 computer players, and I'll set the difficulty at 10. Thank you, children, thank you. Okay, no footer at the bottom because it's the game page, like I was saying earlier. But the first thing, like I said, that is, I'm setting this game up so that when time comes, when we take a look for the guest letters, we'll be able to see them on this particular printout, this particular readout. But the first thing I want to do is import, right? Import. We're just going to import one Google font. Okay, why don't we see it in action? I changed the H1 to a P. So let's test it here. This is, maybe I should make all the links, but instead of that, all the buttons might be better. font family, right? And we're gonna do oregano. You know what? Okay. Okay, there you go. And that being the case, the padding in the margin, I don't think that even matters, does it? No. So, what did I do that on? The button. There you go. But font family, let's add that to it in case things don't work out. Also, in the homepage H1, okay, that's looking a little bit better, right? Let's see what else we have to do. Okay, I set up something for all and everything. Margin of 0. The primary color and the secondary color. And the primary degree. So I don't need this here in app anymore. The background color should stay. I also had a HTML. And with that being said, okay, so we don't have no more white on this, right? The HTML covers everything. Okay, getting back to the app. Okay, we should make something for the header and the footer. Now I think about it. Because that footer doesn't look right. That header doesn't look right at all either. But hopefully we could fix that here. All right, close to back on track. I don't like this at top, but we could have tried to fix that as well. And you have some at the bottom too. How is this looking? Okay, well, at least they're back on the same line, right? And this is not taking up the entire, this footer is not taking up the entire space allotted for this button. But let's work on that. Let's continue working on that. This terminal could go Seeing that we already have it on localhost and it's set up all fine on all 3 pages. Let's go back here. Okay. Much better, much better. Still got a long way to go though. Yeesh. Now that I'm looking at this, instead of just P for the A link, I was supposed to change that to title for a class name. So that would be on, is it the header? Instead of just nav item and title. And then I could change this. And instead of having the font family here, that font family was supposed to be here. Or maybe I should have just kept it there. Okay. There you go. Forgot to put it as a class name. Okay, if this wasn't true, so let's copy this and put it in here because I already have it as for every individual button. So I really don't need it as the A links as well, because the only A link that's not considered a button is this one. All right, that's better. Font size is 30 pt for this size at least. I'm gonna put some padding on this one. And that is that for this one. Okay, with the button, gonna increase this a little bit. Seeing that the font is a little bit smaller, this padding could be the same as this one. Okay, moving on. This header button is unnecessary. And on the speaker, the width, I wanted to have it auto based against the height. Oh, juicy. We're gonna fix that when we get to the bottom where the media finders are at. Okay, settings page. Okay, everywhere where I have settings page, let's do this. F. I wanted to just change that. I don't like how it is. And we're going to do the same thing in the settings, just to make sure it corresponds. Take this off, and you could get saved as well. So in settings page, what did I need? Let's put this on hold for a second, because as it stands, whoa, that settings page, boy. Okay, we have a display of flex, because as it stands right now, the footer is considered part of the settings page. Okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that so fast. But as you can see, the red border does encompass the footer as well. All right, moving on. The flex direction is going to be a column. And we could justify content as in space between. Make sure there's zero padding on it. Even though we shouldn't have to do that. We'll have a min height to fit the content, and a regular height of 100 view height. Okay, much better. Much better. Now, is a lack of padding unnecessary? I didn't think that the padding went down further. Let's take a look here too. Okay, looking better. Looking better. Still got to deal with that header, but that's when we go to the smaller sizes. So this is unnecessary. That padding is 0. In the all, I put margin as 0, but I didn't put padding in. I didn't put the border box in as well, because that will mess up my wheel. I'll have to put in more things for that, and I would rather not have to go through that. All right, you're still waiting for letters to come in. As a matter of fact, oh, those look bad too. I have to fix those along the way. On a small phone, you're not gonna have much option. Wow. But to scroll up and down regardless, but I'm gonna see if I could change that too by the time I'm finished with Mr. Marcelo's tips. Okay, the letters are turning today, sometimes. Oh boy, did they get caught in a loop? They got caught in a loop. Wow, that looks disgusting. All right. Okay, finally finished with this silly little loop. Marshmallows with marshmallows. Candied yams with marshmallows. Okay. Let's hope the computer doesn't figure everything out, even though they're doing a very good job of it right now. Is that this is the first computer? That's the first computer. What was that, lose turn? Yeah, because they still got their money and their trip. Okay, well, you have a lot of stuff here already. A lot of letters. So I'm going to leave it there for now with that. I'll come back to that later. What was we doing? I was looking on the settings page, getting the settings page situated. Like I said, I'll leave that padding there for now. I'm not sure if I'll need it, but I doubt it. With the form, you know what? Before we even start with that, how about I see what the form is all about as far as the size is concerned. Okay, just a bit of everything. Not as long as, but if you had 2 human players, whoops, not 12, but 2, thank you, and you had the computer player, then of course it would take up more than the full view height of the page. Well, not really. It's still within the realms of the view height as far as height is concerned. Anyway, let's fix this up, right? With the form, what we're doing. Max content width. Oof. Auto and max content is probably the same thing as far as this is concerned. Let's set it up on an auto margin to center it out. Thank you very much. And that is a little on the tight side, right? So we could add a little padding to that too. Not to the top and bottom. They seem like they're doing fine. Okay, that's better. Okay, let's put a border radius on it of 20. Okay, a little rounded corners, that's nice. And the border will have none. But we will put in the box shadow. All right, that don't look too shabby. That don't look too shabby at all. On the form input, we don't really need anything. But the form label, the font family, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I like that a little bit better. But that font size, okay, that is better, sir. That is better. All right, a little bit of pop in this for my brother, Mr. Marcello. Okay, moving on. Let's go to the home page. And instead of having a height of stretch, we can make it max content. I'm not sure if that would do anything now. We kind of fixed the home page for the most part. Okay, nice. We don't see that cream color at the bottom anymore. We still gotta fix that. All right, the home page is looking better. It's looking much better. The home page H1. Let's fix that font size a little bit. Okay, yes, doesn't overflow, but still takes up a decent amount. Now with you, oh, yeah, excessive. But we didn't get down to that section yet. Really? What happened? There you go. Okay. Okay, with the wheel. With the wheel. Let's make some changes here. Instead of one view height at both the bottom and the top, which the margin doesn't seem to be doing anything about it, but it's okay, because I was gonna make it 0 anyway. Does that help here? It's basically sitting on the bottom. If that was how it was, no changes. Oh, well, the wheel is too big. We'll fix that in time. In fact, I'll leave it here just so I can remember. Okay, the degrees for the wheel section is fine. You have a margin of 10 view height. There you go. That's better. Yeah, hello. What happened? Oh, when I'm spinning it. You have a margin of 10. The width we're gonna change. So, you know what? Let me just change that stuff now. Let's do some calculations. If you're wondering where I got the 0.93 from, is because it was earlier. I did the division. 554 divided into 516 to get the 0.93. That's not going to change anything here because this is on a smaller media. So that should have changed things here a little bit. Matter of fact, no, because this is basically the same as it was, right? Am I not correct? Oh, made it bigger. If anything, I probably should have made it smaller, but okay. And this is still round, because as you can see, it's not the same measurement for the width and the height to make it full round. And background color, list style type, the border radius, and the border will all be the same. So let's do this. Because as it stands right now, which is not good, so let's make that the wheel and the wheel hover. Now we have the margin, we have the width, we have the height, we have the background color, we have the list style, we have the border radius, and we have the border. All that could be done away with, leaving only the things that's going to be different in between the two. I don't want to put the animation iteration count here, even though I probably can, right? And that'll be less things I have to worry about. Still works fine. All right. Make it a little cleaner, why not? So home page wheel, and the home page wheel, when you hover over it, is set up. As you can see, it's not totally round still when you actually have it spinning. You can see a little wobble, but it's all right. Moving on to the wheel segment. Let's put a height on them. And the overflow of hidden. But wasn't that wasn't there before in the wheel segments? I guess not. As far as I'm concerned, the width and the height should be together. So, to satiate my OCD, the border, let's take the border from here, because if I have it on the wheel segment, oh, I did have the height and the overflow on it, but I had them on every individual one, and I had the border on every individual one as well, which doesn't make too much sense. As far as I'm concerned, background stuff and border stuff should be close to the bottom. So and if that's the case, all the overflow and the border things could get erased from each individual one of these. The overflow and the height and the border. Transform should be on top of the background. So far, so good. Okay, the last two. Okay. I messed up on one of them. Transform and border. This one. Gotta love that backspace button. There you go. Oh, you can't lose that million. That's what we all aspire to. Okay, moving on to value. The value, the prize amount, the prize money amount, pardon me, not the prize amount, but the actual money values. So first thing we want to do was the font family, right? Because as per one of Mr. Marcello's tips, place a border and box shadow on the settings area. That's done. Change the font to make it pop. I would say that's just about done. Change the font, especially on the wheel's cache amounts. That's what we're working on now. All right, so let's get back to it. On the value, we're gonna have the sans and the oregano. The oregano will be the main one. Okay, looking better, looking poppy. That ain't sound right. Looking poppy-ish or popping. It looked like it's popping. All right, it looked like it's popping. That's what it looked like it's doing. Okay, so let's move forward. The font size, I'll leave it 19 pt. Ooh, not too shabby. And to make it pop just a little bit more, let's go to the WebKit stuff. You know I love my WebKit. Even though on YouTube it's harder to read it, even when I'm using it for thumbnails, so I had to most times revert back to just having plain text, which y'all know me already. Y'all know I love the WebKit text fills. All right, WebKit. You have the fill color, which we'll have as black, and then we're gonna have the text stroke color, which we'll make white. And then we can have the width of it. I know, a little on the lazy side. WebKit text stroke width. And that could be 0.3 px. Seeing that the letters are small, we don't really need to go overboard. And the last one is for text shadow. And we don't need to go overboard on that either because these are very small letters. So 1px, 1px. We don't need no hazing. Let's make it black again. So it's black, white, black. So all right, that doesn't look too bad, but it might be a little hard for some people to see. Okay, so white, black, black, white, black, right? I don't think that looks too bad. I think it's popping. Right? Let's make the margin top. Let's decrease that a little bit. Even though it's decreasing, the funny thing is that the way I have this wheel set up, it actually increases the top of the margin. So it makes it look better. It makes it look like it came down a little bit more space between the top. I know these cars look horrible. I'm gonna have to do something else to change those. As a matter of fact, when it's all said and done, I'm thinking about taking a picture instead of setting this up as individual segments like I do have it now. I'm sure you saw some of that earlier. But if you was to look at them, you can see that they're individual segments, right? I'm gonna do something about that and change it into a full picture. But the way that the numbers look now, the money values, I like that. So that's probably gonna be part of the full picture. I'm gonna do it in CSS and then take a picture of it and then, crop it out as I normally do when it comes to things like this. But yeah, as we move forward. So the padding now. Did I not have padding on this before? I could put some padding on it. You have the width, the margin top, you have the margin left. Let's put a little padding on it. All right, as you can see, it shifted it just slightly over. Right, so that they look more centered in their individual segments. Now, I could be a stickler sometimes, you know me and the OCD. So, as we move forward, with the prize, I don't see why I would need anything to be done there. Do I have a width on this? Width? Let's say min content. It makes it skinnier, it fits in a little bit better. But just a little bit. That trip to Jamaica was cut off. The new car was cut off too, and they're still gonna remain, but at the same time, it makes it a little bit better, even though it makes it harder to read as well. But moving forward, right? Because like I said, that's not going to stay the same. We're going to have to do something about that. When it comes to the padding, we could put 10px on the left and right. A little bit easy to read, right? And then we have player name, the padding, instead of one view height, let's make it auto. Let's check out the player name look like. Oof. I'm going to go along with the program for now and come back to this. In the meantime, guest letters. Yeah, because this looks disgusting. I'm going to make it a display of flex. Matter of fact, let's make that a display of inline flex. And the flex direction of row. And then I could justify the content by spacing evenly. Okay, looking better. And after that, I could add in the guest chars. Let's give it a border of 2px, solid red, just so that I can know that I'm talking about what I'm talking about. Let's go. What we're gonna do is have a width of 1.2 characters. And a height of min content. Okay. Okay. The line self of center. Okay, looking better already. The border, you can make it black. And let's put a box shadow on it too. What we got? 1px, 1px, and I'll put dark gray. You can't really see it that well anyway. And let's make this a negative 1px. Let me try negative 2px and 2px. You can see it a little bit better. Yeah, don't make no sense having it there if you're not going to see it. All right, let's see what else we have. Let's go into the media. We do have something for nav. And instead of that, we could have it for max content, right? Okay. This should look better too. Well, other than the fact that the wheel is a little bit too big. But with the max content, at least the button is not poking out of the header anymore. This is not good now. Now the puzzle's hidden behind it, but we gotta fix that too. Let's set up for the title because that is looking utterly huge right now. Hey, if that's the case, let's share this with title. Class title. Thank you very much. Much better, sir. Much better. And the home page H1. Even though I think that's the only H1 I have on the entire website, but let's put a little bit on the margin top. 10 view height. Okay, it doesn't seem to have changed much of anything. Let's bring that font size down a little bit. 18 PT should be fine. Oh, this is the 900 media, so it's not affecting this. But we came here to see how the letters will do. So, oh, those look a little hard to read. We're gonna deal with that. Candy yams with marshmallows. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm going to go ahead and get some more letters here. 500. I'm not gonna spend the M on 500. With marshmallows. It's either 2 W's or a Y. Let's do the Y. Hopefully they don't cheat me on my turn. Don't cheat me. Don't cheat me. Oh, 2,500. Okay, I'll take it. Let's put the W into place for now. Spin my letters for me. Thank you very much. Okay. I don't know why they didn't clap for me, but whatever. Now, the M is all that's left, and it's so easy for the computer to pick a M with the amount of characters that we have now. That W looks out of place. Oh boy. What was that again? Well, the computer's starting to play with me. That's not good. That's not good. So let's just finish this game because they don't want to give me my my dev tools. Silliness. Matter of fact, I'll pick something that's not there. I'll let the computer pick out the last letter so you can see how it looks the more letters come on the screen. Computer 1 with the M. The M look like it's off too. That does not look correct. But they're not playing my sound. They have paused the screen. Okay. Seeing that doesn't want to work. But oh no, not everything. Okay, so you know what? I wanted to take a break anyway. So that is what I'm going to do, even as close as we are to the end. Yeah, the computer might need a little break too. So I'm gonna take a break. We got a box around it, but it's not really totally set up yet. But I could do the finishing touches later. They have a box around it. It was looking decent for the most part, especially on the wheels cache amounts. That definitely got set up. So for the most part, we got the 4 areas down. We just need to make sure that it works properly on the smaller screens, which is messing with me right now. But I'll come back to that. That way I could close down this notes, so that is a little bit less harder on the RAM. And I'll be back. All right, back from the break. The break is now broken. Okay, where were we at? Where were we? I had to shut everything down because things wasn't working. All right, but I got it back on track. All right. Matter of fact, I'll open this up now. I don't want to have to open it up in every single one, but I'll open it up in this one as well. All right, my dev tools. Make sure I got my dev tools together. All right, we were working on pages with a max width of 900. And of course, this is well below 900. But the next one under this, okay, taking forever. Media. Okay, the next one under this was 500. And that is below this. So this one deals with the 900. I don't have any pages that deal between 500 and 350, but this one is below 350. So that is that. I don't think I'm going to be changing anything in between here and there anyway, but let's get back to it. Let's do it. Come, I can look at you in the meantime. Now, the title was the same thing as the A links, so I just put them together. Homepage H1, 10 view height and 18 points. Homepage H1, shouldn't that be this? Why is that still so big? You know how we do. Okay, did I change it? I said I wasn't gonna do it, but that's H1 on the home page. Okay, so that's kind of weird that it's not actually, I don't see any red popping up. Oh boy. There you go. There you go. There you go, buddy. All right. Let's close this down. So I no longer need you. That I can see. And a home page. Whoa. If that's the case, that home page, 7 of 9. We're gonna replace all that. Home page. Thank you very much. Okay, let's make sure how things work. Okay, we was up to homepage H1. You can go. And in the settings page, we're going to change this to a min height of 100 view height. And max width of 100 view width. Okay, we'll deal with that when we get back to the smaller pages, smaller sizes. Right now we're worrying about this size right here. And that's for settings page. So even here, okay, that's gonna have to be dealt with as well. But you are fine. I love you just the way you are. I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna hurt y'all with the singing, okay? Don't worry about it. Y'all get the reference. I'm sure you get the reference. On the settings page, I wanted to set something up for just the form. Now, with that, no? Okay, I must have things different down there that I have to go and deal with. Okay, under that I have a .form label. It was looking a little on the huge side. That looks better. What about you? Oh, yeah, you look better already. Oh, and fixed. I like ye. I like ye. All right, let's move forward. Okay, homepage wheel. Let's fix some things here. Homepage dot wheel, and you have the homepage wheel hover. And then you have spinning. And then you have just a regular wheel. And that width, we're going to calculate that too. So you have homepage wheel and hover right here. We have that here, so that's no longer necessary. This height is not necessary. What we're going to need is a smaller border. 2px instead of 5px this time. Hey, I like ye. I like ye a lot. Thank you very much. How about we put in for the wheel segment too? Because the borders in between are still looking pretty heavy. Okay, looking much better. And for the value, because it's hard to read right now, WebKit, text stroke width, let's change that to 0.1 px instead of the 0.3, I believe it was up there. And we could also change the text shadow. Okay, yes, I can actually read those letters as small as they are. Okay, so far so good. Okay, we dealt with wheel and spinning up there. All right, player name. Let's go back. Pt2. 2 computer players. I guess it doesn't really matter because we're just looking for a particular thing. Oh, those player names. Oof. Okay, player name. Instead of 1CH, let's change that to fit the content. Oh, much better, much better. Thank you. All right, I think we're just about golden when it comes to this. Let me just see one thing. When it spins, okay, the sizes don't change. That's good. Okay, you, Mr. Utterly Small Size. We have to worry about you, and I don't like that either. Let's see if we got some remedies for that. The media. Of 350. Okay. The first thing I could do is add a homepage H1, right? Even though that H1 doesn't look too bad as it is. But that margin top, it looks horribly disgusting. Okay, that pushed that back up a little bit. Let's get a homepage wheel going. And while we're here, we might as well just deal with everything, right? Homepage dot wheel on hover. And the regular wheel for when we're on the game page and is not moving at all, and the spinning for on the game page and is actually moving. Make it where there could be 30 px on each side. And of course the height will have to get changed too. Okay, yes, looks quite nice, quite nice. All right, it's still not totally round, but it's okay. We're gonna work with it. Let's go into the game. One human player. Your Perpetual Tech Noob at your service. 2 computer players. Level 10. Thank you, children. Thank you. Y'all very nice. Very good kids. Some of it still looks a little bit hard to read. Like the 25,000, it looks hard to read to me. Wow, really? You didn't like the criticism? Anyway, moving on. The letter card. Oh wow, everyone's getting messed up. First round. Okay, we're gonna make it even. I should have seen how much it is. Places. They don't get a buzzer? How come I get a buzzer, they don't get a buzzer? And the space evenly, as you can see it in operation. Did they try a S yet? Hey. No idea. No idea. Why is this thing still moving back and forth? The wheel is in here. There's no reason why it should be able to move back and forth. Now it has to scroll because the space is so small. I'm gonna need to try to go back and fix that later on, so maybe they can stack on, you know, on top of each other instead of having to scroll side to side. But I don't think that's in the scope of this work today. School zones. Thank you very much. I'm so gifted with it. Okay. They're like, but you ain't gonna get to try. What else were we doing? We did letter card, didn't we? A font size of 14 points. And the height being auto and the border being black is unnecessary. But let's do this. What if this was red? Okay, those are the letter cards. All right. Well, the height and the border shouldn't have to be worried about because those should have been changed higher up in the CSS. So yeah, as you can see, no changes when I took that off. Letter turning. The height and the border shouldn't have to be worried about because that's also something that should have been dealt with earlier. Not by us now, but when I created the app. The player names. The player names look funny. So I think this is the last thing that I'm going to be doing here, but we're going to find out. Player name. Let's make it a font size of 8. There it go. There it go. Put it back on one line, if you please. Thank you very much. And that's a lot of money. I'm not gonna let that go to waste by trying my hand at maybe getting a bankrupt. I'm not getting a bankrupt. So school zones with an S. School zones. Congratulations. No clapping. Where's my clapping? Where's my cheering? Come on, man. All right. I don't like how this results page looks like this. I really don't. So the question is, would it look like that here as well? Oh, here we go. Here we go. I tried. All right. Results page. The whole computer's freezing? Don't play with me. Don't play with me right now, y'all. You're trying to scare me for. Why? Why? Results page. Height is stretch. I'll say min height. instead of stretch. I don't want to make it 100 view height. Let's say 90 view height. Nothing. No difference. But that's the only time it got changed. And this is before we got to the media, so it definitely should change down here. What if it was just regular height at 90 view height? Nothing? Is it? Don't tell me the Safari froze up again. My conjecture right now is probably the fact that we have 3 games going at the same time. Look, that's not even spinning. Wow. Compile with problems. Oh, because I reset it and we're still on the game page. I'm gonna have to do something about that too. Make it so that if you don't have a puzzle or a player name, you automatically go back to the main page. Can we fix this? Oh boy, here we go with the problems. And here we go. The computer wants to act out on me. All right, results page, height of 90 view height. Let's hope that that is good enough. We're gonna have to find out later on going through this. But also me having 3 pages open from the same program and dealing with them all separately, maybe that's an issue too. And I do have a lot of things open right now, including recording the screen and recording my sound separately because, you know, well, even if it wasn't me talking, the screen record does not record sound from the screen, which is kind of sad. But anyway, let's hope that this has fixed that issue. Matter of fact, I'm gonna leave it as min height, and hopefully that would solve any issues. Now, I had the header and the footer was about 7 view height each, right? So being 14, I can make this 86 view height, but you know, what's the use of splitting hairs? I think I'm gonna leave it there because this is utterly annoying. This is utterly annoying. And wow. Thank you very much. Force reload, please and thank you. Okay, not much help. And I do have a lot of things in the memory of my computer. I'm hoping that I didn't get infiltrated. Well, sorry. I'm hoping that my computer didn't get infiltrated with a virus or something, but we're gonna have to find out with more investigation later on because, yeah, at least I got through to the end of what I was planning for this this build. So, you know how it goes. Until next time, I wish you all the best. If you appreciate what we're doing over here, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. All right, y'all. Till next time, you know how it goes. Keep building.